Well, a very good morning to you and welcome to the first edition of Business Splash for this week. In this package, we have for you stories on remittances, agriculture, oil and gas, exportation, as well as some stock reports. I am Charity Jerome. First, the business news headlines. Senate alleges government-owned agencies did not remit 2 trillion naira. Central Bank of Nigeria promises more credit facilities for youth. SEC steps in as more Nigerians buy foreign stocks, and Petroleum Equalization Fund plans to subsidize cooking gas transportation. Details of these and more in just a moment. The Senate Committee on Finance has raised the alarm that some government-owned agencies, GOEs, have failed to remit 2 trillion naira to the Federation account from 2014 until date. The chairman of the committee, Senator Solomon Adiola, stated this during the panel's interaction with the Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed, the Accountant General of the Federation Ahmed Idris, and the Director General of the Budget Office, Ben Akaboize. A video clip of the meeting released by the panel on Sunday indicated that the interactive session was in furtherance to the panel's ongoing probe of federal agencies and ministries' revenue remittances to the Federation account. Adiola lamented that over 2 trillion naira of revenue generated by the GOEs in the last 7 years might be trapped with them or even spent on frivolous issues. He said such actions was contrary to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007. The panel is currently conducting an investigation into revenues being remitted by the MDAs between 2014 and 2020 and the payment of 1% stamp duty on all contracts awarded by the MDAs within the same period. Meanwhile, Nigeria's revenue earnings capacity has come under threat following the reduction of importation of crude oil by India. India, Nigeria's largest crude oil importer, reduced crude oil imports by $39.5 billion in April compared to the same time the previous year. Data from India's Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell showed. According to the Indian High Commission in Nigeria, India's crude oil imports from Nigeria in 2020 amounted to $10.03 billion. According to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, this represented 17% of Nigeria's total crude oil exports for the year. As Nigeria's largest importer of crude oil, lockdowns in India's major cities from COVID-19 surge in April had ripple effects on Nigeria's oil sales. The Petroleum Equalization Fund has charged oil marketers to start moving premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, through the expanding rail network across the country. PEF also announced moves being made by the agency to equalize the price of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, in order to ensure its affordability and accessibility nationwide. PEF is an agency of the federal government under the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources with the main mandate to ensure uniform prices for petroleum products across the country. The fund also ensures the reimbursement of petroleum companies on any losses in Nigeria arising from the distribution of petroleum products nationwide. Speaking at a briefing in Abuja, the agency's executive secretary, Ahmed Boboy, said the PEF was looking at how to get oil marketers to start moving products by rail. Elsewhere, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has said the foreign exchange restriction by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the COVID-19 pandemic forced 415 companies to stop manufacturing in the last 1 year. The Director General MAN, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, lamented that supply-side constraints, such as the traffic logjam at the ports, slowing down access to imported raw materials, had hampered the growth of manufacturing in the country. According to him, other challenges are infrastructure, including power, transportation, acquisition of land, the multiplicity of taxes and levies from different tiers of government, and inconsistent government policies. Ajayi Kadri, while addressing journalists at the cake cutting event organized to mark MEN's 50th anniversary on Friday, said manufacturers would be able to thrive if these constraints were addressed. Well, still on business news today, the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele has reiterated the Apex Bank's commitment to providing more loans to the youth. The bank chief urged youths to embrace agriculture, declaring the bank's readiness to support them who are willing to engage in agriculture. The governor reiterated the bank's opposition to the importation of maize. Emefiele made the declaration in Katsina during the unveiling of the first maize pyramid and the kickoff of the maize wet season farming under the CBN Maize Association of Nigeria Anchor Borrowers Program. He expressed belief that youths could leverage their talents along with technological tools to improve farm productivity and delivery of agricultural produce to markets. Noting that agriculture offered significant benefits for the youth, Emefiele reiterated that the bank had put in place several measures to improve access to credit for youths interested in agriculture under the Anchor Borrowers Program and the Agri-Business Small and Medium Enterprise Investment Scheme. The federal government has announced that it had commenced a reactivation of its 700 hectares of land in Ogun State for the establishment of an integrated farm estate in the state. It also announced that a cassava processing plant would be established in the estate to boost the value chain and create jobs, as well for 200 persons who are being trained in soil testing in Ogun State. The Executive Secretary, National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, Paul Ikone, made the government's position known during a courtesy visit to the governor of Ogun State, Dakbo Abiodun. Ikone said that the federal government, through NALDA, would possibly acquire more land from Ogun State to establish farm estates in the 3 senatorial zones in the state.
We are training young Nigerians based on Mr. President's directive on soil test and extension service provider. So Ogun State is expected to nominate 200 people in the first phase. Also, again, Ogun is one of the states in the pilot stage of this program.
On his part, Governor Abiodun said his state decided to key into the federal government's agricultural drive because as the industrial hub of the country, raw materials were needed to sustain the industries.
And they agreed to put the first ever international standard testing center in Ogun State. We have located this center also very contiguous to the airport. And this center will provide an opportunity for anyone who wants to export agro produce to take the sample they have it tested and certified fit for export. So, yes, we could not have come to a better state, to be honest with you. We have everything. We have the enabling environment.
The National Agricultural Land Development Authority had commenced the establishment of integrated farm estates across the country as it had started work in Imo and Ekiti states, while Ogun came as the 3rd state. The Securities and Exchange Commission has said it will register and actively monitor brokers selling stocks for foreign companies in furtherance of its mandate of ensuring investor protection and market transparency, especially for retail investors. The Executive Commissioner Operations, SEC, Mr. Dayo Bison, was quoted in a statement by SEC as saying this during an interview with Bloomberg over the weekend. According to Bison, SEC intends to license firms offering foreign stocks under a digital stockbroker regulation, which should provide a form of clarity to their activities. He said the requirement would ensure regulatory responsibilities in onboarding clients, custody of assets, and compliance with reporting requirements were met. Well, now we'll link up with Femi Ojo for stock exchange reports.
A beautiful morning to you out there. Here is a summary of trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange for the last day of trading last week, the 7th day in the month of May 2021. A bullish way to close the market for investors as the whole share index appreciated by 0.21% to close at 39,198.75 basis points. Over 238.9 million units of shares valued at over 2.952 billion naira was traded in 3,947 deals, and we have the equity capitalization summing up to over 20.431 trillion naira. Straight to the top three gainers, we have Link short up in the gainers pack, gaining 6 kobo to close at 69 kobo. John Holt gained 5 kobo to close at 59 kobo, and UBN gained 45 kobo to close at 5 naira 40 kobo. For the decliners, we have Anyhem top in the losers pack, losing 19 kobo to close at 181 kobo. Court Vale lost 2 kobo to close at 20 kobo, and Son Ashore lost 5 kobo to close at 54 kobo. For the major players, we have Access top on the traders pack, trading over 40.4 million units of shares. FBN Holdings traded over 33.6 million units of shares. Zenith Bank traded over 25.5 million units of shares. UBA traded over 13.6 million units of shares, and Guarantee traded over 11.8 million units of shares. That was a summary of trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange for the last day of trading last week, the 7th day in the month of May 2021. Join me on Wednesday when I bring you the outcome of today's trading and tomorrow's trading. I am Femi Ojo.
Well, many thanks, Femi. And that's it on Business Splash for today on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. Join us again on Wednesday for another fresh edition. Good morning. Thank you for listening. I'm Charity Jerome.
Quick, Charger 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station. We educate, that's why we are respected. We inform, that's why we are loved.